Champions of the Realm, welcome back to our semi-final match. On the left-hand side of your scoreboard, we will be watching Team Question Mark. On the right-hand side, Fate Esports. We have FresHkimo from Team Question Mark on the Pip, gerrah on Grok, Mugiwawa on Barrack, Kamyker on Eevee, and Marre on Arcos.
And of course, on the side of Fate Esports, we have Marre on Eevee, Unbelivable on Pip, skillganon on that famous gunship, Arcos, of course. Arcos running another Knessa, second for the day, and Smutny on Barrack.
I'm very excited to see how this Knessa pick performs. Looking that they're running critical hits 4 as the specialty card there, so 40% increased damage to the upper half of an enemy's body if they hit. The point is Igloo, the point in contention, and a fight is already breaking out. Flanks coming around. Oh, skillganon on that Arcos, diving in deep. First blood goes to Marre, quickly answered back by Marre though. Skillganon in a lot of trouble now, getting burst down. Mugiwawa getting credit for that kill, and it looks to be like an even trade so far. But as we keep on proceeding, Team Question Mark gaining point control here.
Even trades, but the flanks from Team Question Mark were just better coordinated. They pull off the flanks, go for one, and then they group up faster than the side of Fate Esports. There's no one grouped on the side of Fate once that comes through, and they get cleaned up by the rest of the squad.
They do indeed. Oh, Arcos on that Knessa taking a couple of hits. There's nobody on the point. The point is going uncontested currently. Marre gets in there for a second. The ice block is good enough to hold the point, but there are no allies to back him up. All they're doing is stalling right now. The objective is lost and goes in favor of Team Question Mark. They take an early 2-point lead over Fate Esports.
The rest of Question Mark push forward so aggressively, picking up kills. They're still in this cave. FresHkimo 1v1, actually sort of the 2v1, but he picks up the Pip versus Pip kill, taking down Unbelivable. Now it's just Smutny and Arcos left on the defense, trying to stall things out, but it looks like the rest of Team Question Mark aren't giving them any time.
Now, I like this high ground control coming out from Fate Esports here, or the attempt to get high ground control. But Mugiwawa and Marre diving in deep, looking to pick up Smutny here, as there'll be a real thorn in, as the Barrack is a real thorn on the side of the attacking team on payload. gerrah all the while on this Grok, pushing the payload in. Marre boxing them down, dealing a lot of damage, but Totemic Rescue comes out from gerrah, and gerrah is saved there. Marre not getting credit for that kill. Mugiwawa still up the top on that Barrack, looking to control his high ground, but maybe pushed out, and the payload defense seems to be successful, at least for now.
Huge evil mojo came through, but we saw Marre going way too aggressive, gets frozen out and killed. Skillganon with the flank right behind the rest of them in the treehouse. Mugiwawa gets taken low. He's picked up Unbelivable with a double kill, looking for gerrah now. Skillganon does finally get taken down. It's 2v1. Unbelivable looks for Kamyker. Great blink, dodges the shot. He survives. They pick up Unbelivable in the back as well.
Would you consider Unbelivable to be unbelievable? Because that was a pretty impressive play right there. And all the while, the payload being forced further and further backwards, back into this choke point. High ground control, once again, going to be contested here. Fate may be able to hold the chicken from Unbelivable. Helps out a little bit. Marre in a lot of trouble though. Forced ice block. The shield from Smutny is fantastic. Placed just in front of the ally, meaning that Marre can actually soar away to safety, not taking any damage. But Kamyker in the backline looks to pick off Arcos on this Knessa. That's a 3-shot kill, double kill going to Kamyker, and now turns their aggression to Marre.
Triple kill comes out, the quadra kill gonna come through. Kamyker picks that up. He's going for the penta as well, trying to look for it, won't manage to find it, but the rest of the team still pushing through. The shields from the totems and the shields coming through. There's the dome shield, the fence goes through. Unbelivable picked up as well, Mugi with a double kill, and another Eevee quadra kill comes through.
Eevee just really showing up in this set of games. Mugiwawa no longer with that Dome Shield ultimate for the point, though. We're going to look at burn cards coming out now. Now, despite Fate being pushed back quite heavily there, skillganon has enough credits to pick up a develop. That's 600 extra health on their side, but Gather's coming out for 3 members. Gather's coming out now for 4 members of Team Question Mark. You can see a couple of blast shields in there, what is that, a sterilize as well, and a master riding picked up on Kamyker. Kamyker going to be all over this map.
Yeah, they really need to get this flank right now on the side of Team Question Mark. No, on the side of Fate Esports. Question Mark, however, starting to go for the flank. Snipes coming through as well. Marre doing some damage in the back, but here comes the flank. Kamyker in the back on Arcos. He's trying to take him out. Good teleport comes through, but I don't think it'll be enough. Kamyker picks that one up. gerrah, meanwhile, going mad on the other side. Marre pops the Hexafire, looking for Marre. He finds that. That's a clean ace for the side of TQA.
So many double kills coming out across the board. Great ult coordination coming out for Team Gerrah on a 12 streak right now. Kamyker on a 10 streak. This is devastation for Fate Esports. They got suckered a little bit by the flank there. That Knessa immediately taken out. And once more, they were fighting had a 5v4 advantage, but the barricades come up, effectively shutting out that Knessa damage. And then Knessa is eliminated from the fight, turning it very quickly into a 5v4 in favor of Team ? And the kills just go from there. Once again, the second capture point of the game going in favor of Team ? as they lead 6 points to 0.
Team ? looked very far forwards, but they managed to peel back in time. Arcos left last man standing, the last sniper in the back, trying to just do what he can, but the rest of the team looks like they don't even care. They're leaving him on his own while they push up this payload.
No, Marre does go back, looking to secure that kill. The teleporter from Knessa is down. Arcos might be in trouble here, but Marre going to back off and just push forwards, if I'm not mistaken, or just distracting this Knessa, so no sneak around from behind. High ground contest once again going, and Kamyker blinks in huge behind. The freeze comes out, but it hits absolutely nobody. I think that was just an ice block for safety before Wormhole really takes them back to their team. And now the high ground control being pushed further and further forwards. Every time Mugiwawa places a barricade, it's a few meters forwards. And every time that's a few meters forwards, that's a little bit of ground lost for Fate. Unbelievable going to be forced to weightless away there as the damage rains down from FresHkimo.
Yep, skillganon goes down. Marre with the double kill. He picks up Unbelievable as well. Gerrah goes through, and this looks like a clean conversion for them. Smutny goes in, but he doesn't have the team to back him up. He'll pick that up. Arcos still in the back. He wasn't able to do anything there.
Once again, that is a converted payload. 8 points to 0 now lead Team ? This is do or die for Fate Esports in game 1 of this best of 3. Now, with the change to the points score, we now gain 2 points per point capture, 2 points per payload conversion, and 1 point for a successful payload defense. So even if Fate Esports do capture this payload, they have to convert it. They lose if they don't convert the payload, they lose if they don't capture the point. They are in a very difficult position right now, and with few burn cards on their side and almost three for everybody aside Mugiwawa there, this is going to be very, very difficult for Fate Esports to come back from. Let's see how they go.
TQM are all over them as well. Gerrah almost with a 20 kill streak as this fight comes out. The dome gets dropped right on top of them. That goes down. Marre picks up one. Unbelievable is down with the Hexafire coming through. Ice Storm is going to halt them for a few more seconds. Mensch picks up Kamyker on the back, but he gets taken down by Marre. skillganon actually dropping there. They do have a high ground balcony control, but it's not going to be enough. Mugi picks up Arcos there. The rest of Fate Esports are on the retreat. Gerrah picks that one up. He's on a 21 streak. He's going off and nuts on this game. And I haven't even seen him drop a Tempest yet.
Nope, I haven't actually seen that ultimate. There we go. Just as you say it, the Tempest from Gerrah does come out, picks up the 1 kill. Actually, no, FresHkimo getting credit for that. Should we call it kill secure? Saving Gerrah's life, though, as Gerrah was brought quite low. Marre almost knocking out Kamyker on the backside. Looks to drop some damage onto the point. skillganon with the Hexafire ultimate, though, but all the while taking damage from the turret, ignored on the capture point. Marre going to stall it out for a second. Smutny going to dive in as well. The dome shield does come out. This is turnaround potential for Fate. They have the shields, they have the control, but they don't have the damage. Wiped out is Smutny, and the game will go to the side of Team ?
That was huge from the side of Team ? We saw the dome shield go down at the end, but it was 4v1. They pick up the barrack, they cancel out the flame turret straight away, and TQM coming up huge there. They were all over Fate Esports.
They were indeed. Let's take a look at the scoreboard summary just before we go into game 2. A lot of devastation, a lot of kills. Oh, Gerrah not actually dying a single time that game. 24 eliminations.
24 streak for Gerrah. That is nuts right there.
That is a very valuable kill if one of Fate Esports did manage to pick him up. And comparatively, Fate Esports, skillganon dropping a lot of deaths there, not many eliminations, picked off quite easily, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But really, I feel like even though Smutny on that barrack had the lowest damage of the team, and comparatively Mugiwawa was 5k up, I feel like the Knessa pick just didn't do enough. They were picked off too easily. We also want to take note of the critical hits card there. So whilst you're dealing 40% increased damage if you hit the upper half of an enemy character, the card Generator, which decreases your charge time on Knessa by 0.6 of a second, almost allows you to double your DPS as Knessa. And as a result, we could have seen these long charge time shots that have a high reward just being ineffective against a team that rushes the backline repeatedly. Definitely want to see that changed up going into game 2.
Yeah, it looks like the side of TQM just dealing with this ruckus on the side of, they're dealing with skillganon so well. he does have that gunship build that we see being taken. He is going for countermeasure, so actually more survivability than we normally see on this Ruckus build, but it's just not enough. He's on his own every now and then, but he's trying to go for those picks like we see on this gunship Ruckus, but the rest of TQM are too grouped up. He cannot just 1 versus 4, and he's getting picked off constantly.
See, if we take a quick look and compare the Ruckus builds here, I want to talk about the Heat Diffuser pickup for Marre, which is Heat Diffuser 4, reduces the cooldown of emitter by 8 seconds. Now, even with the buffs to Rekka, we're not actually seeing Rekka picked up, really, by anybody on the side of Fate. I just don't think they had the credits for it through most of the game. There are more valuable defensive cards to pick up first. And as a result, with the cooldown of emitter being reduced so much, that's a shield every, what is it? It's 8 seconds, I think, or 8 to 10 seconds that you got an extra emitter. That's a shield of 1,000 health for a few seconds. And that can completely turn an engagement. You pop Hexafire, and you're a priority target to either run away from or get taken out. But if you've constantly got this emitter up and ready and available, it can be devastating. Comparatively, skillganon on the Ruckus was running gunship 3, so 15% more damage whilst hovering, and fuel reserves 3, so only 120% increased hover duration. That's quite significant, but compared to the 160% on the side of Marre, the extra damage isn't enough if you can't either chase players down, or if you're being chased down for so long that you can't get away.
We're not seeing as well the Rekkas coming through as often because the projector build's just fallen out of favor with the nerf to emitter. I mean, it was necessary with how strong projector was, but that just makes Rekka less of a viable pick, especially with the changes to the barrack as well, not making him as serious a threat with that barricade anymore. So Rekka just not as viable a card with those builds going out of the meta, but we do see this gunship working really well in certain cases by some of the teams today.
Now we do indeed. Any closing thoughts? So that was a complete sweep on the side of Team Question Mark versus Fate. It was a 9-0. Are there any specific changes that you want to see? If Kness is going to be taken out of the champion lineup, who would you like to see replace them?
I mean, I'd like to see a Grok there. They need that healing, especially with... So they're getting the flank off. Both teams are getting that flank on that first point, and that first point is so important because that's where you snowball through with the burn cards. That first point, we see the flank come through both sides, 1-for-1 on both, but the side of Team Question Mark, they group up faster. They have the stronger group because they have that Grok, and they just push through. If you don't have that grouping because you've got someone like a Knessa, you need to be considerably further ahead with the flank and with the early picks, otherwise you're just not going to win that 4v4.
Indeed, indeed. I've just seen a few different mentions in chat of people saying Drogos could work very well against the tightly knit, very grouped up team comp that Team Question Mark are running. It'll be interesting to see how Fate respond. We'll be with Game 2 in just a couple of minutes as soon as the players are ready to proceed. Don't go anywhere. And as a reminder, this semi-final is the final set of games we'll be watching before handing over to Hi-Res Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, where they'll take over for the finals with their production crew. So if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to share it with your friends. We'll see you in just a moment.
Welcome back, everyone, to this second game of the semi-finals. Best of 3 series right now between Fate Esports and EQM. On the left side of things, they are currently 1 down in this series. It's Fate Esports looking to make a return. skillganon on that Ruckus, Unbelivable on Pip, Arcos on Knessa, Smutney on Barrack, and Menschmeyer on Eevee.
So no changes there on the right-hand side of your scoreboard. Of course, Team Question Mark up a 1 game currently. FresHkimo on that Pip, Marre on Ruckus, gerrah on Grok, Mugiwawa on Barrack, and Kamyker on Eevee. It is the salty run back. And for those of you just joining us, my name is Vox, and I am joined, of course, by my co-caster and partner in crime, Taddle.
Why, hello there. Of course, we're getting into the first point right away, instantly, both on the platforms. Barricades dropped on both sides. No real damage coming through, but there's Menschmeyer in the back. He takes FresHkimo very low. Meanwhile, Kamyker doing the same thing. The flank comes through pretty seriously, though. Marre with the gunship going up, but they're looking like they're going to get returns. gerrah and FresHkimo taken very low, but they find the first kill onto Menschmeyer. Everyone's taken so low, and Smutney finds that first kill on for the side of Fate. Does get returned, but This is looking back and forth right now.
It is indeed, but we've seen back and forth before. Oh, Arcos! Marre jumps up into gunship, looking to get the flank on as Arcos has the high ground on the back of the waterfall point currently. Is taken out by a great sniper shot there. Gerrah looking to flank from behind. 0 capture point still. Nobody has actually spent a single second on this point. It could go either way as the respawns are coming through. And once again, Team Question Mark are back and they taste blood now. skillganon is going to be forced out in a lot of trouble. Smutny as well has to have that barricade up and available very soon. And still nobody on the point.
Arcos, meanwhile, is still set up very far back, which is actually giving them point control here. They need to be on the point because they have the control with this Knessa. They're using it well, but they push forward too far. skillganon goes down. Marre is very low and forced out, but it's currently 4 versus 5. FresHkimo might drop one more shot, but he gets out of dodge. It's 4v5 right now, and the players are healing back up.
Oh, Arcos could be in a lot of trouble there. Marre does pop gunship, looks to go for the flank. Arcos setting up to snipe. Smutny to the rescue. The double tap does come through. Arcos getting credit for that kill. FresHkimo answering back on a kill onto Unbelivable though. And oh, look at that. Grok from behind. Gerrah picks up one. Kamyker dives deep into the backline, and now it is TQM who are actively taking point control. I don't understand why Fate Esports just didn't have somebody on the point in that previous engagement. I mean, they dumped a Knessa on it eventually, and that meant that Knessa was in a bad position, took a little bit of poke, trying to run back up to the high ground to start zoning again. And now it is Fate Esports who have to mount the aggression.
Yeah, they were trying to get a clean wipe onto TQM, but they never managed to find it, and they go too aggressive, pushing forwards for it as well. Unbelivable right now, drops the tricking onto FresHkimo, looking for that kill, but he gets taken down. Smutny trying to return the kill onto FresHkimo, does manage to find it. The rest of the kills coming forward, though. Fate Esports trying to make a return. Gerrah
is this the clutch Tempest?
He picks up one, Hexafire coming through, but it's all blocked by the dome shield.
Now skillganon is looking to run down Marre, but the emitter is good enough to save them. Gerrah on the backside will be able to heal them up with the healing totem in just a moment. There's one player on the capture point right now, and it is Smutny. Smutny and skillganon now 2 against the world. Great shots from skillganon, assisted by the rifle, taking out Marre there. Unbelivable does dive in, dives straight back out again, taking a ton of damage. Kamyker potentially looking for a return there. Dome shield goes down on this from Mugiwawa, and this could go either way, but advantage currently to TQM.
TQM get the dome shield down, and the point is so low that all of Fate Esports dive on to try and keep it going, but they get burned down. They can't find that barrack pick, and this goes in the favor of TQM for the first point.
It was very, very nearly in favor of Fate Esports, though. They just didn't have quite the zone pressure and able to keep TQM off the point. Running in and dropping that dome shield really turned the engagement in TQM's favor.
And Knessa was actually doing well there. I was really worried when I saw this Knessa pick came out. But actually, they get really good positioning. They get the control of the point.
Right.
But they try and go for a wipe. And TQM play smart. They peel back again and again. They only lose one member at a time. And because Fate are looking for a clean wipe, they don't start to take any of the point control with that Knessa control that
Smutny
they
just
have.
gave up high ground. Smutny jumping down onto the payload instead of potentially another member of Fate. Actually giving up high ground control, but skillganon and Menschmeyer come to the rescue and look to retain it. The barricade is down. Mugiwawa taking a bit of poke. Unbelivable, in a lot of trouble. Gets eliminated by FresHkimo. Wiped off the face of the map. Arcos does pick up a kill into Kamyker though as well. That's the EV out of the way, but Smutny down. There's no barrack on the side of Fate Esports. Gerrah constantly on this Grok, pushing that payload in, stacking up credits as they do so. skillganon and Menschmeyer are going to be forced to retreat. Arcos with the snipes. It's good, but not good enough. There's one kill, but Marre in that ruckus likely going to pick up Arcos here.
He's trying to look for that Arcos kill, because that's all important. But the evil mojo comes down. That's Mugi and Gerrah popped, but they managed to stay alive for the moment. Unbelivable taken solo. No one's dropped from the side of TQM still. Mugiwawa picks up Unbelivable. Smutny taken very low. Benjamin goes in. The Ice Storm is dropped, but there's no one on the payload. He drops right into a dome shield. He's going to get melted in that ice block.
Triple kill for Kamyker. No quadra as Marre does pick up the kill onto skillganon, and that is a successful payload conversion. 4 points lead Team Question Mark over Fate Esports. It's beginning to look like the previous game here. Things are getting dire.
If this is on Mines or Waterfall, if they get the setup again like they did last time, if Fate Esports actually start to gain the points that they need on the point control, I'm not saying they all need to be on it. You know, it's a balance between getting some points and then peeling back. You know, having someone zone them off when you need to. But they weren't taking any points when they could have. They were instead trying to push forwards and zone over the
Let's
top.
just look at burn cards real quick, though, as we see a couple of develops coming out on the side of Fate Esports. That'll make him a little bit more difficult to kill. Some blast shields. There is an aggression card, 25% increased damage on the side of Marre. On the side of that Ruckus running gunship, so that's 30% increased damage overall. They are going to be swinging. You get isolated from your team, and that Ruckus will run you down no matter who you are.
Fate are grouping up very well, though. The snowstorm comes out for Kamyker right in the back. Unbelievable. Marre taking down gerrah. Pops the Tempest, doesn't find any kills, however.
The ice
Arcos
block
and Unbelievable are really low. Marre finds the kill. Kills finally coming through for TQM, and that looked very risky there.
That was almost a misplay, I would say, on the side of TQM, because the Tempest comes out. It's immediately immune by the ice block on the side of Marre, but it's just not quite enough. Marre does dive in quite deep, looking to pick up gerrah, doesn't find the kill, and if that kill had come through, I think this engagement might have turned out differently. Currently, TQM hold the point. Almost 80 capture points already.
Marre was so close to getting taken out there, and if he'd have gone down, it would have been very risky for their side of TQM. Marre goes in to just stall the point, but he's all alone. He'll drop the ice block, but he'll go down very quickly. The rest of the team not there to reply. Arcos going aggressive against Kamyker. He's going to get frozen out and taken down. Fate in full retreat right now.
They have to. They have the burn card disadvantage. 3 cards retained on every member of TQM except Marre right here. That is a huge advantage over Fate right now. Marre the only one to die as well on that last capture point engagement. In fact, gerrah on a 21 streak. We always see these Groks on the streak. It's incredible.
It's the focus gets on them, but they drop that Ghost Walk. They're just too hard to take down. Unbelievable gets taken down by Mugi. Marre pushing up onto the point. Kamyker
the air shot!
One up onto Arcos. There goes the freeze onto Smutny. Kamyker right now 1 versus 2 on skillganon. He does get pushed back, but meanwhile, Mugi in the back, no health, takes out Marre in the 1v1, and they have base control right now.
They do indeed. Marre diving in, will pick up a kill onto Smutny. Unbelievable chickens Kamyker, but that's the only one. That's a major ultimate wasted. And the flamethrower turret, the dome shield goes down on the capture point. Successful defense on the, no, unsuccessful defense. Successful conversion on the side of TQM, who now lead 8 points to 0. Once again, this is do or die for Fate Esports.
TQM did not want to give them any chance to come back there. They knew as well they were in the card, but they knew as well they had a huge advantage, enough to buy all 3 cards on every member as well for this next fight. So they knew they didn't have to wait that one out. If they used ultimates, they'd be at a card advantage for this next point. So they knew using that ultimate was worth it, because now we see on the side of Fate Esports, they don't have all the ultimates up and ready, and they're behind in burn cards by a lot. They didn't allow anyone to get farming there.
They do have one important ultimate, though. Smutny has that dome shield available, and that might be the difference between a successful capture point or not, but Marre comes around from behind. Kamyker looks to assassinate Arcos. Arcos eliminated, and Marre from the backside drops a hexafire. Not successful, but does manage to get out of dodge still.
Smutny is still alive, but there goes the dome shield. He's taken down. skillganon the only one left. He's trying to find the kill on Marre, but Marre peels back. The rest of his team are there. They find that kill. They're looking for the game, pushing forwards. Capping coming through, looking like they're going to try and zone them off at the point. And TQM looking like they want to close this out with a 9-0 sweep.
They do indeed. Marre dives in deep looking for Kamyker, but the blink is used now. No way onto the point. 73, 76. The capture rate is increasing. Marre uses Sword to get in there. The ice block will come through, but ultimates are now charged on the side of TQM. There's a Tempest dropping damage. There's just a second to get in. skillganon drops Hexafire on point. It's huge, but not huge enough, as there's a turret waiting, as well as a full enemy team. It's a last-ditch conga effort as they go one by one to the point. Do Fate Esports, but TQM holds strong and take game 2, advancing to the finals.
Yeah, great play there by TQM, and they just looking a lot over the place. They had that Kineticon, and they had the chance. They really had the ability to take that first one. You know, they were looking for farms rather than for the point control, and that's fine and all if you can get it. They weren't getting any of those kills. They were getting the low. They were getting members of TQM low, but TQM were peeling back to a point where if Fate chased them, they would get punished. And it was a back and forth, you know, the dance for such a long time. Fate taking them very low, TQM back off, Fate back off, knowing not to fall for that bait. And it eventually came to the favor of TQM. You know, TQM held their nerve right there by staying far back. They knew the capture point wasn't coming through, so they held their nerve, and when Fate finally did go too far forwards, they went in for that fight. The punish was instantly there. Skillganon gets taken down. Fate then pushed through. They go all over the side of TQM, swarm them, and take the point.
Now, looking at the scoreboard, just a little bit of post-game breakdown. Gerrah, MVP of the game for me. 0 deaths, 32 eliminations, a part of almost everything. But look at Eevee. Kamyker on that. Eevee with 36k player damage, 10k ahead of most players, not just on their team, but also on the enemy team as well. Now, Fate had consistent damage across the board. Unbelievable on the Pip. Unsurprisingly, stacking up a little bit more damage, as Pip is often able to do with those AoE shots. But Kamyker just diving backline, absolutely devastating, definitely taking out Arcos and that Kinessa more times than should have been allowed by Fate Esports. And as a result, with that Kinessa not really being as much of an issue as they were during the first capture point, the game goes heavily in the favor of TQM. It's reduced to a 4v5 every time. Now, I do just want to ask you, do you think that game might have gone differently if perhaps Fate Esports had taken the first capture point?
Honestly, I'm not too sure, because that was the first time we'd seen Waterfall go in Fate's favor. It depends on whether TQM would have been able to recover, because, you know, the momentum would start to go in Fate's favor there when they get that point. But at the same time, TQM, it's kind of a case of whether they would be, I don't want to use the word tilted, but whether they'd be able to recover from being on the back foot. You know, it's so hard right now to recover from the burn card advantage. We would have seen a defense there without any burn cards on either side, and maybe TQM would have been able to get a defense through and get the advantage. But at the same time, we never know how it would have gone, because, you know, TQM might have not been able to recover if they'd have lost that point, especially with how Arcos could sit back on that Kinessa, get the picks that he needed to keep the team rotating, keep the roster of people alive on TQM.
Keep the staggered respawns going. Yeah. That's very, very important. We often talk about staggering and staggered respawns. If you wipe an entire team, they're going to respawn as an entire team. They're going to come back as one group. And if you're unable to full heal between those engagements, you might be at a bit of a disadvantage there. Staggering keeps people going in one by one by one, and as a result, it's a lot easier to deal with those players filtering in individually. We definitely saw a lot of that on that last point as members of Fate, just trying to stop that cap going in one by one onto the capture point, ticking it over into a contested state for a little bit of time. And really, we got to say GG to both teams. I mean, Fate Esports came out and they took the bronze match last week. They actually beat out Team Question Mark in that bronze match, if I'm not mistaken. But Team Question Mark say no, they won't be so easily disregarded. Come back strong, going through to the finals this week to face up against what has just come through to be Death and Taxes. So your final match this week, the best of 5, which will be covered by Hi-Res Studios, will be Death and Taxes versus Team Question Mark, the winner of which will qualify for Week 5, the playoffs, and will no longer be competing in subsequent qualifying rounds. And the bronze match this week will be Fate Esports versus District 69.
Yeah, and it's going to be a close one. I want to watch this one. TQM had a hard road into this finals. And Death and Taxes had a hard road into this finals, going 2-1 in that last series against District 69. Both teams looking very strong. TQM, I've said a couple of times that, you know, they haven't looked great or on form. They've had a hard time in the brackets with the matchups, but they've not been able to perform recently. They're coming back strong on this patch. They're looking to change that and take this second seed. And that would be a big upset, seeing as Death and Taxes were second place. They are slated to win this one this week. If they get taken down, this could be interesting to see.
That's a big upset. And then, of course, second seed would go actually in favor of Team Question Mark, which may spell a difference between one team qualifying and one team not for the final DreamHack tournament. With that all said and with that all in mind, thank you very much for joining us today. I have been Vox, joined of course by my co-caster Tattle. A huge shout out to Onlylight and Phasian, the guys from Paladins World who have been adminning this tournament as well as doing all of the hosting and the streaming and the camera work. Great job by them. Of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. You can find us all on Twitter. Links will be available on screen and have been throughout the tournament. And this is it from us today. We're going to hand off to Hi-Rez Studios now. There'll be a waiting screen on for a little while as Hi-Rez are going to try and pre-load the games before we go live. But expect some big things coming on Paladins game hosted by Hi-Rez TV in just a little while.